Hello everyone and happy Easter. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend and that you've enjoyed as much sunshine and fresh air as you possibly could. Thanks for joining me today for Easter Monday Pilates. I hope you really enjoy the class. So as usual, throughout the class, please listen to your bodies. Don't do anything that doesn't feel quite right for you, and I'll be giving you modifications and adaptations throughout so you can choose whatever suits you best. Try not to push through any pain you might experience, especially if you have shoulder or hip issues. Just do whatever suits you best. Okay, before we get started, let's just check we've got everything we need. So we've got our exercise mat. Today you're going to need a little cushion as well. So this is for sitting on or for kneeling on. You'll also need your resistance band or your tights, so make sure you have that to hand as well. Okay, so we're going to start sitting in something called long frog. Now this is where you might need your cushion already. So long frog is where we sit with our feet together out in front of us. Make sure you can see me properly. And sitting nice and tall. So you should find that the weight is going down evenly through your left sitting bone and your right sitting bone, and that your legs are out to the side, nicely relaxed here, and you're able to sit tall through your body. So your core muscles are coming on already, and your shoulders are dropped down your spine. Now, some of you might find this really quite uncomfortable around your hips, especially if you've got tight hips and hip flexors. So this is where your cushion is going to come in handy. So you can give yourself a little bit of height here. It's sitting on the cushion, and that should instantly provide a little bit of relief around your hips. Okay, so if this is still uncomfortable, you can do these few exercises to start with by sitting on a chair. So whatever chair you use, just make sure it's got quite a solid seat and that your feet are planted on the ground, hip distance apart, and you'll be able to do exactly the same exercises just fine without sitting in long frog. Okay, so whichever way you're sitting, again, just make sure your weight is going down evenly through your left and your right sitting bone. You're sitting nice and tall, so it's easy to slump forward in this position, but we're just going to raise ourselves up and imagine that piece of thread coming through the crown of our head, really tall, core muscles coming in, and you should feel that you can support yourself here through your spine. Okay, we're going to bring our arms out to the side, just widen them slightly. We're going to go into a side reach sitting. So our weight is going to transfer onto one of our hands. So you need to make sure that your palm is able just to take some of your weight. Okay, so sitting nice and tall already. Breathing in here. As we breathe out, we're going to raise our arm all the way up, making sure that you're not moving your spine just yet. Still breathing out, start reaching up and over to the side, and your weight should come onto that arm, let that elbow down. As you breathe in, press through that supporting hand, restart your spine one bone at a time, and float your arm down. And we're going to go on the other side, so breathing in to prepare, and breathing out, start reaching the arm all the way up. Try not to move your spine just yet. Then still breathing out, slowly go over to the other side. We're getting some lovely lateral flexion through your spine. Inhale here to restack and float the arm down. Let's keep going on each side, reaching up and over. Okay, I'd like you to imagine that you are moving between two panes of glass. It's really easy here to start leaning forward or tipping backwards, or even rotating so your shoulder is coming forward. We're going to imagine a piece of glass here and a piece of glass behind us, and you're moving between those two. So you're getting pure lateral flexion. Breathing in and down. You might also find that the weight is just transferring slightly between each of your sitting bones, and that's absolutely fine. Pressing up, reach the arms out. I'm going to do a few more on each side, hitting my little Easter tree there. So we're going to go again, reach your way up and over. That's it. Back up and down. So we're just getting our spine warming up, moving it laterally. You should feel also that your tummy muscles are switching on ever so slightly. So we've done this one standing up before. The great thing about sitting down to do it is that your hips can't move. It's really easy to banana your hips out to the side. But because they're fixed, you know that the movement is purely coming from your spine, which is great. All the way up and down, and one more. Arm coming up, reaching up and over, all the way back up, and bring the arm back down by your side. Okay, so this time our hands are going onto our shins. Remember, if you're sitting on a chair, just place your hands on your knees. You can do exactly the same thing. And to imagine that we've got a big beach ball here. This time we're moving into forward flexion with something called spine stretch forward prep. So we have our big beach ball here. We're raising up through our spine. That piece of thread is pulling us up towards the ceiling. Big breath in to prepare. And out to start, nodding your chin forward and rolling forward one bone at a time. Imagine that you're lengthening over that beach ball. So it's not a fold forward. You're lifting up and out of your waist. Your hands are traveling down towards your feet. And as you breathe in, you're going to restack your spine from the base of your pelvis up, shoulders coming back down. Let's go again. Breathing in to prepare and out to nod our chins forward, toe muscles coming in, lifting up and out of your waist, rolling forward. And restart once again. All the way up to the top and your shoulders coming down. Okay, we're going to do 4 more of these and I'll show you from the side now what this should feel and look like. So we're sitting nice and tall here. And as you breathe out, we nod forward and you're rounding through your spine as you roll forward. So we start with that little tuck of your chin, rolling forward here. Now, some of you might have a lot more movement through your spine. The idea is that rather than just folding forward, we're lengthening up and over. So let's go a few more times. Breathing out. So this is a really controlled exercise. So although it's subtle, you might not feel that you're moving much. It's actually really great for teaching your core muscles and your stabilizing muscles how to control the movement of your spine. Also getting that lovely sequential flexion, trying to move through every single part of your spinal column. That's it. I've completely lost count again. Let's do 2 more. Rolling forward, nice and slowly. Tummy muscles coming in all the time to support you here. And as you breathe in, reset your spine to the top. And we've got 1 more time to go. Excellent, good. Okay, so coming back to sitting nice and tall here, I'm going to go into a side twist sitting. So make sure, again, you're nice and comfortable. You've got enough height beneath your hips. You can transfer to a chair if that's great for you. Sitting nice and tall, once again, let's raise our arms up into a Cossack position. So our shoulders are continuing to melt down the back of our spine. Core muscles coming in. For this side twist sitting, we're going to focus on the pure rotation of our spine. Again, we're not leaning forward or backwards or to the side. We're just getting that pure rotation. So we're starting in Cossack position, core muscles coming in, shoulders coming down, and piece of thread lifting through the crown of our head. So we're sitting as tall as we can do so. Okay, so let's breathe in to prepare. And as we breathe out, let's start turning our head to the side and rotating around our spine. Our arms are just being carried on our spine. We're not moving them independently. Rotating back to center. Let's go to the other side. Breathing out. Start with that turn of the head. Rotating around to the side and coming back. Now, if you can't go very far, don't worry. As you do this exercise more, you might find that your spine is getting a little bit more smooth and free. Rotating to the side and coming back to center. Try to make sure that you're not slumping backwards. It's really easy to start rocking back. Like to imagine a little hand just pressing through the base of your spine into the small of your back and just giving you that extra lift. Breathing around. Coming back through to center. Lovely. And again, rotating around. And coming back to center, we're going to swap our arms over and go again. So throughout this exercise, make sure that your shoulders are melting down the back of your spine. Let's go again, breathing in to prepare and out. And come back through to center. And again, just rotating around. Ask yourself whether you're starting to rock backwards slightly. Remember that piece of thread coming through the crown of your head. We've got 2 more to go to each side. And we're going to come back through to sitting. Awesome. All right, so this time we're going to take our legs out in front of us and connect them together. So again, remember, if you're sitting on a chair, you can still do exactly the same. Connect your inner thighs, flex your feet. Can't quite see my feet, but they're flexed up. And we're sitting nice and tall. So it's really easy here to start rocking back, but we're going to remember that piece of thread. So even sitting like this should feel like you're using all the muscles in your body. Your legs should be working, your core muscles should be working as well, and you're breathing nice and deeply. If this is already beginning to hurt you through your quad muscles, I'd like you just to use your glute muscles a bit more. So think about squeezing your bottom, and you should find that your quad muscles automatically turn off. If this is still uncomfortable, add in another cushion to raise yourself up a little bit more, and again, that should take the pressure off for you. Okay, so spine stretch forward. Our legs are together out in front of us. We've got that lovely tall spine. I'm going to raise our arms up to shoulder height here. So our palms are facing together. We're going to do exactly the same as in our spine stretch forward prep by starting on the out breath, rolling forward with our chin, and then one bone at a time, rolling forward. You should find that your hands are traveling towards your toes. You're getting lots of space through your spine. And then you're going to restack here and come all the way up. Try again not to fold forward. It is just a roll forward. So we'll go again, breathing in here and out to nod your chin forward. Rolling forward one bone at a time. You might feel a stretch through your hamstrings. And inhale to restack and sit nice and tall again. Okay, let's go again, rolling forward. Again, a subtle movement, but you should find that your core muscles are really working here to help you move. Breathing out as you roll forward. Keep your legs engaged. It's going to help you move. And we've got 2 more to go. Rolling forward. Bring your core muscles in here to support you. All the way back up. And our final one. Rolling forward. And coming back up. Excellent. You can bring your arms down, give them a bit of a rest. This is where we are going to put those 2 exercises together to do an exercise called saw prep. So full saw involves moving arms as well as your body, but this time we're just going to focus on what's going on through the body. If your legs are uncomfortable, remember you can transfer to a chair or just add a few more cushions. So we're going to sit this time with our feet apart. So you're taking your legs apart and your feet should be ever so slightly wider than the mat. Again, your feet are engaged here, so your toes are pointing towards the ceiling, and you should find it quite easy to sit nice and tall. I'm going to put together that rotation and that flex forward like we've just done. So we're going to get our arms out the way and cross them over our chests. Bring your shoulders down the back of your spine. Piece of thread coming through the crown of your head, and we'll just practice with that side twist to start with. And this time we're going to change our breathing, and we're going to inhale to twist to the side. Excuse me a sec. Okay, so hands across our chest. This time as we breathe in, we're rotating to the side and coming back through on the out breath. Let's try going to the other side. Inhaling, rotating to the side. Keep your shoulder blades relaxed. Keep your collarbone wide. You're purely rotating around your spinal column. Core muscles working here. You should feel them coming in to support your waist. And again, you're keeping your legs active. Okay, last time to each side on the in-breath. And back through. And again on the in-breath to the other side. And coming back through. So now we're going to add on that roll forward. And in this roll forward, I'd like you to imagine that this shoulder is going towards the opposite knee. So we're starting with that breath in to come to the side. And then as we breathe out, we're going to flex forward, just like we did in our spine stretch forward. So you breathe out, begin with a nod of your chin and start rolling forward, thinking about your shoulders coming towards your knee. Inhale to restack and exhale to come through to the center. Again, it's a really subtle movement, but you should find that the whole of your body is working. Breathing in to rotate to the side, breathing out to nod your chin forward, start rotating forward, shoulder coming towards the opposite knee. Restacking here, tall, back through to center. We're just going to keep practicing through like this. Saw prep. The next stage will be adding in our arms. Coming back through to center, we're going to cross our arms over the other way now. Breathing in to rotate, fill your lungs and rib cage with lots of air, and breathing out, empty that air as you roll forward. By emptying that air, it's going to give you more room to contract your core muscles and roll forward. Super. And going again, round to the side and rolling forward. Restacking, back through to center. Good, let's try doing 2 more times to each side. Try to make sure your quads aren't gripping like anything. Let's rotate to the side, rolling forward. Restack, back through to center and around. Breathing out to empty your lungs of all the air, letting you roll even further this time. Restacking and through. Good. Last one to each side. And back through. And our final one. Rolling forward. Sitting nice and tall, back through to center. Bring your arms down. Bring your feet together. And just rest through those legs. So if you do this video again throughout the week, remember you can change the height of your cushions. You can sit on a chair and do exactly the same movements. It just takes the pressure off your hip flexors a little bit. Okay, so we're going to move into high kneeling now. So again, a starting position that might not be familiar for you. So again, you might need to use a cushion like this one. I'm just going to alter the screen to make sure you can see me properly. Okay, so high kneeling. We need to have our band ready. I'm going to kneel on the floor with our knees hip distance apart directly underneath our hips. Legs extended out behind us. So automatically, your toe muscles should switch on because you're staying in this position. Okay, we're going to practice with a hinge back to start with. I'll show you from the side. We're nice and tall. All we're going to do is control a hinge back from our knees. And coming back through. I'm just going to change position of the laptop so you can see me a little bit more easily. That's it. Good. Okay, so then kneel. That's better. You can see what I'm doing now. So knees hip distance apart, and we're just going for that hinge back. So you're hinging from your knees, coming backwards and forwards. gaze going forwards all the time. Remember, if this is uncomfortable, you can kneel on that cushion. Let's go again. So hinging backwards, glute muscles switching on, core muscles working to make sure you're not slumping down through your lower spine. Good. So you're using your lower legs as well to press into the mat to help you here. Good. We've got 2 more to go. Breathing out to hinge back and forward. And our last one, hinging back and forward. Super. Okay, getting hold of your bands now. Going to come into a bit of band work. So still in your high kneeling. Got quite a taut band. We're just going to do some arm lifts and lowers. So your hands should be shoulder width apart. A little bit of tension between the band. As we breathe out, we're going to reach our arms up and then breathe forward. Breathe in, reach your arms forward. Take them down to your thighs and press those arms back. So let's go again. So you're going to breathe out to raise your arms up so that your upper arms are by your ears. Breathe in to reach your arms forward and bring them back against your thighs. So I'll show you from the side now. Breathing out, arms going up, forwards, and pull back. You should feel your biceps and your triceps switch on here. So we're getting some lovely shoulder movements. The band is just helping give us a bit of resistance, especially when we pull it back. And I like to think about what your wrists are doing. It's easy to let your wrists kind of hang back like that. But we're going to try and keep our wrists really long. Forward and back. Great. And 2 more. Breathing out to bring your arms all the way up. In to reach forward. And press that band back. Good. And relax through your arms. Great. So we're still going to keep hold of the bands now. We're going to go into some arm pullbacks. So still in that high kneeling position, our band is quite taut between our arms, but we need to make sure we can pull that band back, okay? So this time, back of your wrists and forearms are really long. As we breathe out, we're going to draw our elbows back so that that band comes across our chest. And inhale to control our arms going back forwards. Once again, show you from the side. As we breathe out, we pull back. Inhale to come forward. So you're resisting the pull of the band as you return. Feeling us through your arms, your biceps, your triceps, as well as the back of your shoulders. So it's going to be great for your posture. But opening out the front of your chest as well. And your core muscles are switching on to make sure that you're not slumping back. It's really easy to either push your hips forward or let yourself swing back, but we're keeping that really firm and stable torso. This is actually quite hard. Let's go again. Breathing out, bring your arms back and forward. And our final one, bringing your arms back and forward, bring them down and take a little rest here. Let the backs of your arms just release and relax. Great, so going into some pole raises now. So we've done this before in class, standing up, but this time we're going to do it in our high kneeling. Again, if this high kneeling has got too much for you now, you can sit down on a chair or sit down on the mat. So you need a little bit of space between your hands. So the band is quite loose because we can pull this band apart behind our body. So this time we breathe out, start floating your arms up directly in line with your shoulders, taking them all the way up And then taking them behind the line of your body, begin to breathe in and pull that band apart. That band comes behind the back of your shoulders. You can see that my wrists are extended, they're not flicking back. And then as we breathe out, we're going to raise our band all the way back up to the top and bring it down. Super, let's go again. So we're breathing out, arms floating all the way up in line with your shoulders, taking them all the way up. Inhale, reach through your hands. Open the band out. It should pass behind the back of your shoulders. Breathing out, resist the band, trying to pull your arms back really quickly. Inhale to come down. Excellent. Okay, so showing you from the side now. Going to breathe out, bring your arms all the way up until your upper arms are in line with your ears. Pull that band apart so it opens out across the back of your shoulders. Again, try not to push your hips forward. Arms coming all the way up again, forward and down. Let's see me do 4 more. We're getting some really gorgeous movement at your shoulders, and the added resistance of the band is going to help strengthen them here. So you've added in a bit of weight bearing as well with this band. It's great for your bone density. And you're using your core and your deep stabilizing muscles all the time because you're changing the center of gravity by moving your arms. And that core is having to work to keep you in this really lovely upright position. Remember to keep breathing, so 1 breath with each movement. And again. Tummy muscles coming on, pulling our arms out to the side. And arms coming forward and down. Just sit down to give yourself a little bit of a rest here. Roll out your neck, roll out your shoulders, and have a bit of a rest through your arms. Okay, so this time we're going to do some backstroke arms. Going to practice without the band first of all. Still in high kneeling or sitting on a chair. Reach your arms out in front of you so that they are level with your shoulders. This is our starting position. Automatically bringing your core muscles in to make sure your bottom's not slumping back. Piece the thread through the crown of your head. As we breathe out, we're going to split our arms and take one arm down and reach the other one up towards the ceiling. Inhale to come back through to your center position. Then we'll go the other way. So opposite arm going down this time, other arm reaching up. Inhale to come back through. Now it's really easy to start wavering around through your body. So I'd like you to use your legs here to make sure you're nice and still, you're not wobbling. Gaze going forward, jaw is released. Breathing out, you're moving your arms in line with your shoulders. Breathing in to return. Out to reach, in to return. Moving really slowly and smoothly. And if it's comfortable for you, you might even like to take your arms a little bit further back. So just been coming down so that they are horizontal and vertical. You can try just taking that arm behind the line of your body a little bit. Again, if you've got shoulder issues, try not to push through this. But it should just help move your shoulders. If you spent a lot of time gardening this weekend, this should feel really nice. Okay, let's come back through to the start. We're going to add in the band. So again, you need quite a lot of slack because you're going to pull that band apart. You might need to experiment just a little bit to see how much movement you need in that band. But again, we're going to breathe out. That band should come across your body. Breathe in to come back through. Let's go the other way. Breathing out, trying to move your arms so that they're horizontal and vertical. The band is coming across my nose and coming through. Keep your shoulders down. Breathe out, move these arms as smoothly as you can. Good. And again. Breathing out to pull back. Inhale to return. Try as hard as you can to keep your hands moving in line with your shoulders. Good. Coming back through to center and bring your arms down. Roll your shoulders out. So we're just going to breathe normally and move our shoulders. I feel a few little cracks and creaks going on here. And we'll go the other way. That's it. Final couple. Last one. Super. Okay, so now we're going to come into a band pull down. I'll show you from the side once again. This is our start position. As we breathe out, we're going to pull one arm down to the opposite hip. Return with control. Pulling out, you can turn your head to the side. In with control. Throughout this movement, make sure that the back of your arms and the back of your wrists are really strong. Again, it's easy to let your arms ping back. You breathe out, turn your head to the side, bring the arm down, opposite arm stays really strong. Come back. So strengthening through your shoulders and your arms. Tummy muscles are working as well. Your hips are remaining pointing forwards. Breathing out, pull to the side. Biceps, triceps, and shoulders switching on. You might feel those muscles underneath your shoulder blades as well, working hard. Good. And again. Trying to think what news we've got from him. Saw our first swallow on Saturday, which was lovely. My radish seeds are sprouted. 3 more sweet peas have appeared miraculously. Oh, and if you live in Tetney, did you see the Easter Bunny yesterday? Genuinely walking around the village. Okay. Breathing out. You can hear that I'm a little bit out of breath through this already. Remember, you can alter the resistance of the band to make it easier or harder. Pulling that band back. Inhale to return. And our final one. Inhale to return. Bring your arms down. Have a little bit of a rest. Take a few breaths in and out here. Have a drink if you need to. So we're going to move into our 4-point kneeling position. And to come down onto the mat and just do some really nice cat to start with. So knees directly beneath our hips, wrists beneath our shoulders, setting yourself up really strongly, making sure your core muscles are coming on, you're not slumping down through your spine. And we'll go into our normal cat from here. So breathing in and breathing out, start rocking your pelvis underneath you really smoothly, and then let that ripple continue all the way through your spine. Head coming down mat wall, pressing the mat away. Inhale to extend back through to our neutral position, and let's go again. So I'm going to make it a little bit smoother this time. Rolling through, mid back going up towards the ceiling, pressing the mat away from you, and extending back. Tummy muscles coming on all the time, so tummy coming up to your spine. Really lovely movement to do, and we've got 2 more like this. Rolling underneath. Extending back. And our final one, rolling all the way underneath you. And coming back. Okay, so this time I'm going to add in the band. So taking that band and wrapping it around your mid-back. The band is nice and wide here. And you're going to trap it underneath each of your hands. So automatically you should feel that band pulling you down towards the floor. We're just going to press through our shoulders, core muscles coming on once again. Lots of space between your fingers, and from here we're going to do exactly the same. So we're going to roll that pelvis underneath us. Let your spine press up into that band. And inhale to come back through to center. Let's go again, rolling our pelvis underneath us. Inhaling to return. Okay, we're going to do 4 more of these. So moving with your breath. And a few more. So think about lengthening your tailbone towards the wall, and your breastbone is lengthening in the opposite way. So you're getting lots of length through your spine. And you can make this next one your final one. And then sit back over your heels into your rest position. Arms going forward, lots of space through your spine, bring your forehead down. Good. Okay, so we're going to bring ourselves back into 4-point kneeling. We're going to do something called a leg side slide and sweep. So we're going to start with that leg slide first of all. So you're in that 4-point kneeling position, lots of space between your fingers, centers of your elbows are facing each other, toe muscles coming on. As we breathe in, we're just going to slide one leg away from us, lengthening through that leg fully, breathing in to come back. If this is too much on your wrists, you can create fists. Do exactly the same here. So slide that leg away and come back through. Breathing in to slide, out to return. And imagine that you've got a tray of Easter eggs balanced on the back of your spine and you really don't want to drop those. So your hips and your shoulders are remaining square to the floor. Going again, sliding away, keep your toe on the floor. Last one on each side, and then we'll add on that sweep. Ask yourself whether you're dropping your head down. You should keep the back of your head really extended here. Good. Okay, so going into that leg sweep now. We're going to breathe in to slide that leg back. Keep your core muscles coming on. Keep your body square to the floor. And then as you breathe out, you're going to circle that leg around to the side. Then come back through and return that leg. It's like you're trying to draw a circle around your body with the tip of your toe. So I'll show you again. You're going to breathe in, slide that leg back, keep your toe on the floor, and then start circling it out to the side as far as you can, whilst keeping your hips level with each other. We're getting lots of movement through that hip. We're going to see if we can do 4 more times on this leg before we go on to the other leg. And as your hip gets warmer, you might find that you can sweep that leg a little bit further. Sliding that leg around, keep your toe on the floor, draw that circle with your toe, and try to keep your body square to the mat. It's really easy to start bending your elbows here, but we're going to try and keep them extended. You can take a rest at any time. But again, it's fantastic for bone density, putting this weight onto your limbs like this. Okay, last one on this side. Reach that leg round, keep your hips square, and we'll sit back and rest here. You might find that your arm's aching a little bit, as well as your hip. We're just going to bring our head down or balance it on the back of your fists. Breathing in deeply and exhaling. Great. Okay, so coming back into that 4-point kneeling, we're going to do the same on the other side. So set yourself up, lots of space between your fingers, hips square to the floor. We're going to slide that leg away on the inhale. And as you breathe out, start drawing that circle. Keep both sides of your waist long. Breathe in to take that leg back and return. Just want to make sure you can see me. So you're going to slide that leg away, fully extend through that leg. Circle around you. Don't worry about how far you can get. It really just depends on your individual hip flexibility and mobility. Going again, slide that leg back. And return. We've got 4 more to go. Breathing in to slide. Out to return. Back through. Moving with your breath. So if you lose your breath, don't worry. Just try to think about breathing in and out once for each movement. And back through. Good. We've got 2 final ones here. Breathing in to slide. Keep your hips square to the mat as you draw that circle around you. Really lovely to get that movement through your hips. And our last one. Keep the back of your spine really strong. And sit back over your heels once again into your rest position. Relax your wrists. Give them a circle around to release any tension you're holding here. And twisting the other way, just spiraling those wrists. Great. Okay, so we're going to move back into our 4-point kneeling, getting your band once again, and wrapping it around the back of your rib cage. Nice and wide. Once again, trapping the ends underneath your hands. We're going to move into a lateral arm raise. This time, you're really going to need to use your core muscles. So let's check we've got the correct starting position. So rather than your breastbone coming down, pressing all the way up, tummy muscles coming on here. Your gaze should go down towards the mat. Lots of strength through your core. As we breathe out, we're going to try and reach the arm up towards the side so it's level with our shoulders, and bring that arm down. As you do this, you should find that those tummy muscles really switch on here to keep you stable. And the band is going to help you because it's going to help guide your arm up. Coming down again. As you shift the weight between your arms, think about keeping your shoulders and your hips square. But you should find that your core muscles are really working here to keep you stable, because you've gone from a really stable 4-point kneeling to a less stable off-center 3-point kneeling. Good, let's keep going. So breathing out. Again, if this is too much on your wrist, you can form a fist and do exactly the same. Just going to take the pressure off the back of your hands and wrist here. Breathing out again, and inhale. Out, let that band guide you. Keep your shoulders square to the mat. Really great for your stability. Last one on each side here. So let the band guide you. And your final one, reaching the arm up to the side, parallel with the floor, level with your shoulder, and bring that band and your arm down. And sit back over your heels into your rest position once again. Give your wrists a rest. Breathing in and out here. Okay, so we're going to come onto our fronts now. Again, we're going to use the bands. So we need to wrap that band around the back of our rib cage, just like before. Nice and wide. And lie on your fronts. So we're going to lie ready for Cobra Prep position. So your feet are out to the sides, toes pointing out, heels are in. So you've rotated through your hips. Your hands are out to the side, level with your forehead and slightly wider than the mat. And you should feel that your hands are pulling the band across the back of your spine. Forehead is down, shoulders relaxed. We're going to do a Cobra Prep. So we'll breathe in here, and as we breathe out, start pushing your nose away, and then lifting up one bone at a time. You should feel that you're pressing up into that band. If it's not quite tight enough, you might not feel anything. So you can just adjust this position. So the band is going to try and hold you to pin you to the mat. But as you breathe out and extend through the top of your spine, you should feel that you're pressing into that band, really targeting the thoracic spine. So extension through the upper back and the top of your rib cage. Legs are really active. You're going to breathe out and breathe in to come down. Going again, breathing out, lifting all the way up here. Pressing into that band and lengthening back down. Just keep your elbows on the floor. And really work on the sequential extension. Pressing your nose away once again, lifting all the way up and lengthening down. And one more, pressing your nose away, lifting all the way up and lengthening down. Good. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a full cobra. So take your arms slightly further up. Let your elbows release, shoulders release once again. This time we're going to extend our arms as well. Breathing in to prepare and breathing out, press your nose away. Start lifting up through your spine. And then pressing through your arms, really pressing into that band. Shoulders lengthening down your spine. Lots of space through the front of your hips. And inhale, start sinking back down. Bring your elbows down onto the floor just around the time your lower rib cage hits the floor. And lengthen down with control. Here we go again. Breathing out, press your nose away. Start extending up. Remember, you're not taking your head back. You're lengthening up, long back of neck, lengthening through your arms, reaching forward and back down really smoothly. The band is just going to provide a bit of resistance, meaning that your spinal extensors are working harder. This exercise is fantastic for your posture. You're really strengthening the posterior line of your body. You're strengthening your shoulders, opening up the front of your chest. Because we're working on extension, it's the opposite of flexion, which causes you to stoop and round forward. Breathing out, lifting all the way up. That's it. And lengthening back down. We've got 2 more to go. And lengthening back down. Good. We've got final one. Breathing out, press that nose away, lifting all the way up, breastbone going forward, shoulders coming down, and lengthen back down onto the floor. Get rid of the bands and press back through into your rest position or come onto your sides to relax here. So bring your head down, let your lower spine release and relax, getting rid of any tension you're holding here. Cool. Okay, so popping the band out to the side now, lengthening back onto your fronts and placing your head on the back of your hands. We're going to do something called prone circles. So all we're going to do is lift up one leg and draw a circle with that entire leg. So you're breathing out, lifting your leg up and moving from the hip. Try and draw a circle with your toe. Drawing that circle, breathing normally. And try to keep your shoulders released and your hips heavy into the floor. We're going to go 6 times in this direction, and then we're going to reverse the direction and circle the other way. And you should find that the back of your leg and your glute really starts to feel this. Super. 2 more. Final one, and lower that leg down. So this exercise is, again, really great for the posterior line of your body. You're strengthening your glute and the back of your leg, but also getting that lovely movement of your upper leg in the hip joint. Also working on extension. So if you suffer from tight hip flexors, it's going to really help just lengthen those out and give you a bit of relief. Let's go on the other leg. So remember, you're lengthening it through that leg, pointing your toe, keeping your knee completely still. Start circling around so that the movement is coming from your hip. Reaching through your toes, circling around 6 times in this direction. And let's go the other way. Reaching through that toe, circling around. Your hip is the center of your circle. And 2, and 1, and lengthen down and relax. Good work. Okay, so now we're going to go into something called swimming. If you've been with me in class, you'll have done this one before, but I'll talk you through it if it's a new exercise for you. So just check that your feet are hip distance apart. Top of your feet are lengthened along the floor. You're going to bring your head down. Forehead rests on the floor, and your arms are out in front of you, the same distance apart as your shoulders. It's like you're going to be a swimmer. So your palms are flat on the floor. You're going to breathe out and lift opposite arm and opposite leg off the floor. Lower down. Going on the other side, breathing out, lift up. Inhale to come down. Out to lift up. So you're getting lots of movement at your shoulder and your hip. If this is too much for your shoulder, you can do it with just one arm. Do whatever suits you best. Breathe out to lift. Inhale to lower. Inhale to lower. Reaching through your fingers and your toes. Out to lift. In to lower. Tummy muscles are working all the time here to keep your torso stable. And if you want an added challenge, raise your head, neck, and top of your spine off the floor. And keep this extended position as you do those arm and leg movements. Good. Going from side to side, lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. And 2 more. And press back through your hands. Come into your rest position once again. Relax your lumbar spine. Bring your head down. Super. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the mat now and lie in our relaxation position. So using a little cushion beneath your head if you need it, making sure that you've got your band handy. So we're going to lie on the floor, feet and knees hip distance apart, head lengthened along the floor. Quite dark here, hopefully you can see me. And we'll do a few little pelvic tilts here. So imprinting your spine as you rock back, arching away. So you're going to breathe out. You can place your hands on your hips so you know what's going on. Breathing in to extend. Out to rock. In to extend. And a few more times. Imprinting. Arching away. And imprinting again. And arching away. And just setting somewhere halfway in between. Okay, we're going to go straight into a toe tap. So you've got your neutral spine and pelvis here. We're going to do like a single knee fold. So we're going to breathe out and breathe out again. Bring your legs up. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to do a single toe tap. So we're going to breathe out to tap your foot down. Inhale to return. Out to tap. Inhale to return. You should feel these muscles around your lower core working super hard. Inhale to return. That's good. Breathing out. Keep your spine and your pelvis completely still. You're hinging from the hip. Now, if you know that you bend your knee and tend not to hinge from the hip, you can place something on the floor so as a guide for your feet. So you're kind of trying to touch whatever it is. So you could use a sock maybe. Just try and touch it each time. Breathing out. Okay, we're going to do this last one. Breathing out to tap. Inhale to control. And then we're going to pick up our bands. Hold the bands in each hand and press it against your lower thigh. So it's like mid-thigh level. Do exactly the same. And when you bring your leg back in, you should feel that you're pressing against the band. So you're breathing out to tap. Inhale to return that leg and press against the band. So you're automatically switching on those deep lower abdominal muscles just because you've added this bit of resistance on for your leg. Okay, let's go again. Breathing out to tap. Inhale to return. really controlled through your lower core muscles. And again, out to tap. Inhale to return. And last one here, tapping down. Inhale, and our final one. Get rid of your band and bring your knees in towards you. Give yourself a rock from side to side here. Just releasing any tension. You can rock in whichever way feels good for you. And we're going to come back down onto the floor. Bring your feet down again. Find your neutral spine and pelvis. This time we're going to add in some arms. So bring your arms up above our shoulders. Bring our legs in one at a time. This time we're going to go into something called dead bug. So you're going to tap one leg down and simultaneously take that opposite arm back towards the floor behind you, lengthening through your fingers. Breathing out to tap. Inhale to return. Keeping your pelvis and your spine completely still at all times. Let's go again. Tapping and returning. That's it. Lovely. Going again. Tapping. Tummy muscles really working hard. Lovely. Let's go again. Tapping away. Tummy muscles coming on. Let's see if we can do one more on each side. Breathing out. Reach through your fingers. And our final one. And bring your knees in. Give yourself a rock from side to side. Once again, release that tension. Place your feet back down, hip distance apart. Take your hands behind your head, elbows up towards the ceiling. Tummy muscles coming in, neutral spine and pelvis. We're going to go into a few curl-ups. Breathing in here and breathing out, nod your chin forward. Start lifting up one bone at a time. Tummy muscles coming in, gaze going between your knees, head heavy in your hands. Lengthen back down. Good, let's go again. Breathing out. And coming back down, lovely. We've got 3 more to go. And final 2. And our last one. Breathing out, nodding your chin up, gaze going between your legs. Extending back down. Awesome. Okay, so you can either stick with this exercise or we're going to bring our legs back into that double knee fold, making sure you're not rocking back through your pelvis. Bring your legs up. And we're going to do curl-ups in this double knee fold. So keep your knees and your feet hip distance apart. Breathe in to prepare and breathe out to do exactly the same movement, curling up, lengthening back down. You're keeping your lower body completely still. It's really easy to rock back through your pelvis and bring your knees towards you. We're going to try and keep them static. Breathing out. You should feel your core muscles working a lot harder. Keep your head heavy in your hands. Breathing out again. And back in. And final 2. Back in. And last one. Remember, if this is too much, you can stick with that first exercise. Lengthen down. Bring your legs down one at a time. Release your hands. Place your arms down by your sides, slightly wider than the mat. Then we're going to keep our feet hip distance apart to do a really nice wide-legged hip roll. So as you breathe out, we're going to let our legs go to one side, rolling through your spine. Gaze going towards the ceiling. Inhale to draw everything back through to center. And exhale to rotate to the side. We're getting that lovely rotation through our spine once again. Coming back through to center. And because it's wide-legged, we're getting a bit more movement through our hips as well. So kind of swaying from side to side. Back through to center, you'll need to use your core muscles to initiate that movement. Keep your shoulders soft, your collarbones wide, your jaw relaxed. Back through to center. Good. One more time to each side. And our last one, over to the side. Back through to center. Bring your knees in once again. Give yourself a rock from side to side here. Turn your head, release any tension that you're holding through your jaw. Stretch your legs out one at a time. Take your arms behind you and just give yourself a lovely full body stretch. Reaching through your fingers, reaching through your toes. Just lengthening up through both sides of your waist. Now roll over onto our sides and just come up through to sitting. Sitting however suits you. And we're going to bring our both arms up to the sky. Reach up and over. Lovely side body stretch. Back through to center and over to the other side. Oh, really enjoy that feeling here. And bring your arms down and give yourself a nice clap. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the class and I hope you have a great rest of week. I'll be back on Thursday morning, 9:30. So if you'd like to join me, please let me know. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you next Monday. Thank you again. Bye.